Now, male and female brains are physically different. No surprise. So does this mean we should be educating our kids separately?
Ask anyone and they'll tell you boys and girls learn differently.
Girls typically have better auditory processing skills, so they attune to information from a teacher, instructions or dictation quicker and with greater efficiency, where boys might be a little bit delayed.
It was an issue Kilvington Grammar had to tackle when the all-girls school went co-ed in 2011.
Some would argue, yes, there are clear differences and that's why boys might learn this way or girls learn that way. But others would argue against that very, very strongly. So I guess our focus, therefore, as educators has to be on each child and are they engaged in the learning process.
So if boys and girls learn differently, shouldn't we be educating them separately? Well, not according to the stats. Looking at the number of kids who scored 90% or over in their final exams, a recent study showed single-sex schools did only 3% better than co-ed schools.
There isn't a lot of evidence to suggest that if you send a boy to an all-boys school or a girl to an all-girls school, they're necessarily going to do better academically. For some boys, single-sex schools work well, but co-ed schools work better. So a lot of that depends on the child.
What kind of message does it send to boys and girls that you're saying, look, we think your brains are so different and we think that you think so differently that we can't even educate you in the same classroom?
So how different are our brains? Men's brains are around 10% bigger than women's. But if a doctor looked at a brain on its own, it would be impossible for them to say if it was male or female. It turns out the difference isn't in the brain we are born with, it's in the brains we develop as we grow up.
People are influenced by the roles that they're playing, the social identity that they have, the expectations that go along with being a boy or a girl or being a male or a female.
So if you're a parent trying to give your kids the best start, what's the secret to getting them ahead?
If you have students who are more engaged and enjoy being at school, they're going to learn more and probably do better. Because if you're a happy kid, you learn better.
Such an interesting topic. From a personal point of view, I had 3 years in an all-girls school and then 3 years at a co-ed school. But I think the co-ed school gave me better life skills and made me more competitive with the boys, particularly in all the sciences and the maths.
Well, I was thinking today about it because for my son Ollie I was thinking where am I meant to send him, and I thought for boys it's probably better being at co-ed because it gives them those life skills and dealing with girls later in life, but I just feel sorry for boys in the early years of high school when they're meant to be concentrating on studying and the hormones kick in. Like, I don't know how they're meant to concentrate. It must be hard.
I was in an all-boys school, but the female teachers got a lot of... a lot of my attention.
I tend to agree with you. It would have been a mess.